What's up, everybody? This is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are watching Ranger Wrap Up. Peace out!
Man, give me the peace. No, how do you know? You got it. I mean, I'm holding on to this one.
With Power Morphicon right around the corner, I've had a few people ask me, hey Liz, what are some tips for Power Morphicon? So I'm going to be giving you 5 tips for PMC, which really can be used for any convention. And this bit is brought to you by my cat, who likes to get into everything. We're going to start with tip number 1, and that is something for autographs. My cat didn't like that very much. Get something for your autographs, okay? You can use it for art. You can use it for autographs. You can use it for comic books in case they run out of things. And the main thing about it is, even if you don't use a heavy-duty thing like that, plan ahead. If you're going to buy gifts, if you're going to buy toys, if you're going to buy autographs, make sure you know what you're going to do with them, because you don't want to just sit and finger smudge up the autograph that you just paid a lot of money for while you're watching a panel. Number 2, make a plan and plan to fail. And what I mean by that is, please look at the schedule, look at everything you want to do. Make an absolute plan of, if I had the perfect day, I would do this, and this, because, hey, get great. You can start on that plan. It's going to fail, though, at some point. And that's fine, because they will. Conventions are fluid. Sometimes they try to kick you out of a room early. You don't really know what's going on. But if at least you have a plan, you can fall back on it. So when things do get kind of crazy, you can at least say, okay, I know about what I could be doing right now, which is about as good as you can get. Tip number 3 is that technology fails, and this includes a lot of things. This includes, make sure you have cash, okay? Because if technology fails, some places you can't get a signal. That means you can't use your card anywhere. Hello, kitty. You won't be able to pay with things with your card if there is no internet. So please make sure you have cash. Same goes with if you need a special ticket somewhere. If the where you're getting your badge from is in a basement somewhere and you have it on your phone, make sure you screen grab it so that way you don't have to worry about technology. It's gonna fail at some point. Just be ready for it. Tip number 4 is to take care of yourself. You're gonna be going and meeting people, high-fiving, shaking, doing hands. It's also going to be a germ fest. So, wear a mask if you want to. Make sure you use hand sanitizer. But also with taking care of yourself, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure you do eat something. I know it's tough if you're going from panel to panel. Bring a granola bar or something in your bag. Make sure you're actually taking care of yourself. The last thing you want in your trip is to end up in the hospital somewhere because you passed out due to dehydration, because you just got so busy you literally didn't drink anything for a few hours and, faint, you go. That would suck, right? So there you go. Also, please shower, please wear deodorant, and please don't just smell bad. Just please take care of yourself. And number 5 is that, remember that a convention is what you make of it. If you are a person that wants to go meet as many Rangers as possible and get your photos taken with them, great, more power to you. If you want to go and you're literally going to meet one Ranger and the rest of the time you want to hang out with your friends, great, more power to you. Maybe you want to see every single panel and you're going to cosplay, great. There is no right way to convention. There's no wrong way to convention, and this convention is going to be what you make of it. So please, please, please enjoy yourself. You probably spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of headache trying to get yourself there. A convention can be people, it can be places, it can be memories, but a convention is going to be what you make of it. So remember these tips. 1, something for your autographs, something for the things that you purchase. Be ready with where you're going to put them and also how you're going to ship them home. 2, make a plan to fail. 3, technology fails. So please be sure you are ready in case you don't be able to use your phone service. Make sure you have screen grabs and whatnot. Number 4 is to take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, if needed. Just please take care of yourself. And of course, the convention is only what you make of it. Spend the time with your friends, make new friends. Maybe you're going to see people you've only chatted to online for years, like I got to do at a few conventions, being able to hug someone you've chatted to for 5 years but never actually met face to face is such an amazing experience. And I hope all of you have an amazing time at Power Morphicon. I cannot be there. There is no way on God's green earth I'm going to make it. I've had even more plans stacked up on top of it. So please let me know in the comments what you think about these tips and tricks, or leave a comment of what you want me to add to the list. And I'll see you all later at the next next video, Ranger Nation. Find me at Ranger Liz on everything. Have a great weekend, y'all. I love you. And if no one told you today, you're awesome. Doodles!
Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, I'm Josh Perry from the Illuminerdi, and here's everything that happened this past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So first up for this week, we have some news from Hasbro Pulse, both in the UK and in the US, as some items are now available in stock for ordering. So first from Pulse in the US, we have the Blue Ranger helmet and the Wave 5 restock of the Zeo Gold Ranger Tray of Triforia version. So the Blue Ranger helmet, we kind of expected this to be here pretty soon because other retailers were getting it in, and also Pulse sent out those emails of like, hey, we're shipping this item soon, so I definitely expected that to happen. The Zeo Gold is actually a long time coming because that one was up for pre-order a very long time ago, and it was always delayed until like August or September or whatever, but now it's finally up there following the recent restocks of Mighty Morphin Red and Lord Draken from previous waves. Moving over to Hasbro Pulse UK, we also knew from last week that the Metallic Armor White Ranger was being bumped up from a September 1st release over there to kind of a middle of the second week of August, and here it is. It is currently in stock on Hasbro Pulse UK if you are in the UK and want to complete your Metallic Ranger team. And speaking of in stock, even though it's actually still listed as a pre-order for right now, the Zord Ascension Project Dino Megazord has started to ship out from Entertainment Earth, so seemingly they are so far just processing the pre-orders, and it still is listed for a pre-order, though I do suspect over the next couple of days, or maybe like a week or so, that pre-order button will change over to a add to cart button. So if you want the Zap Megazord here pretty soon, it's probably worth switching an order over to Entertainment Earth if you haven't already got a pre-order set up there. And then finally for this week, we actually had some stuff related to the upcoming Power Morphicon. So we are less than 2 weeks away at the time of this video of Power Morphicon actually happening, and some interesting things have gone down. So first, it was announced this week that YouTube channel Mmpr Toys, hosted by Bruno and Mia, are going to be attending and having their own panel. But what was really interesting about that announcement is that they said in the description for it that there will be a special announcement from Hasbro. So we don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean. We've kind of already heard from Scott, who runs Power Morphicon, that basically Hasbro's not attending in person, but they were going to be sending presentation materials for something. I don't know what exactly that even means. Probably something related to Power Week, which will be going on during the time of Morphicon from the 22nd to the 28th. And Morphicon is from the 26th through the 28th, so it's definitely going to be overlapping right there. So it's possible like a reveal will happen on Hasbro's end, and then they will like send something to the convention for them to talk about there, maybe a prototype or something. Or it's possible MMPR Toys will just get to have a Lightning Collection reveal at Morphicon, or maybe it's not even Lightning Collection related whatsoever, but I figured it's still worth talking about. And then also, speaking of Power Morphicon, they have potentially leaked a figure, so they announced that these posters are going to be included with the different membership tiers for the convention. So this first one will be given out to anybody who has a Red Ranger full weekend pass or above, so this also applies for gold, platinum, whatever. And this is a Tom Whalen artwork poster of a bunch of Power Rangers, and this looks absolutely incredible. It's basically a poster collage of some of his favorite artworks that he's done for the Lightning Collection figures. And we're going to come back to that one in a second, because there's a secondary poster. And the secondary poster is this Villains one, very similar kind of style. It's basically a nice kind of complementary poster to the Rangers one. And this one is only going to be limited to Gold Ranger and above members to have in their kind of, you know, stuff that they get in their bags or whatever. Now going back to the Ranger one for a second, Dino Fury Blue is present on this poster in a Lightning Collection Tom Whalen artwork style, but there is no Lightning Collection Dino Fury Blue Ranger even leaked or like, you know, listed somewhere or talked about by Hasbro. Now personally, I can confirm that I've heard from certain sources, and I wasn't able to make it public until now Morphicon did it themselves, that yes, a Dino Fury Blue figure is coming to the Lightning Collection. I'm not sure how it's being released yet, if it's going to be in a wave or if it's going to be an exclusive or something, but Power Morphicon has seemingly confirmed it, so it's possible, since it is, you know, a Power Morphicon related poster and he's pretty prominent on there, that maybe it'd be something revealed at Morphicon, or also it could just not be. It could just be a weird fluke where Tom, you know, when he's picking his favorite artworks, he threw Dino Fury Blue in there without knowing that the figure hasn't been announced yet. So we're not exactly sure what's going to happen with that, but yes, you can expect a Dino Fury Blue Ranger figure to be coming out in the Lightning Collection sometime soon. And with that, that's everything we have for this week. And of course, until next time, if you guys would like to check out the full episode of Lightning Storm, where I go in detail on all these different stories, you can do so right now on the Tokusatsu YouTube channel. You can also check out my articles over at the Illuminerdi, and follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or LightningFigPR. And this has been a little quickie, Lightning Storm.
Hey, this is Ranger Liz here for the week. Sorry I can't be here for the live stuff. I am at a wedding, like, right now. My cousin's getting married while you're watching this, so congratulations, Lisa. Anywho, we're going to start with a bit of Dino Fury news, and that is Season 2, Part 2 has had episode descriptions revealed for episodes 12 and 13. So going down to episode 12, Ultimate Mystery. When Jane vetoes a Buzz Blast story on Bigfoot, Amelia tells Stan and Annie to bend the rules and do it anyway. But when her colleagues end up in danger, Amelia learns an important lesson about responsibility. And I'm sure it's a great episode, yada yada. But episode 13, Love Hate, Ollie tries to ask Amelia out. Yeah, of course it's going to backfire, right? Because it's Power Rangers. But a miscommunication leads to Amelia thinking he doesn't like her. Do we have a stand name? Chat, let me know. Let them know, because I'm not here. But they will. Is there a stand name for Amelia and Ollie? Anywho, this is the big revelation, though. But when she realizes Lord Zed is involved, the truth comes out. So Lord Zed, obviously, this is going to be a really big thing. He is coming back. I can't wait to see how he fits into all of this. The fact that he's roaming around, and here he is coming back. Another story, thanks to Morphin Legacy, that FunCon 2022's exclusive one has been revealed for the Green Ranger Shredder. Yeah, so that Funko Pop has been announced. If you're going to be going to FunCon 2022, I think it looks really awesome. Of course, this is coming at you from the Mmpr, not Versus, but whatever, for TMNT. It was really cool. They did the Lightning Collection figures for them, and we now know that there's going to be another series, whatever, of it out. It was a 5 or 6 issue run. I would expect the second one to be the same, but I'm very excited. We got, like, the turtle sword, the swap powers. It was so freaking cool. And, yeah, and, of course, we got Green Ranger Shredder, which I will take all day, every day. In a little bit of comic news coming over from Ranger Command Power Hour, Boom Studios reveals there are going to be exclusive trading cards and print in celebration of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 100. These things look so cool. Each copy of MMPR 100 will contain 1 of 10 evenly intermixed. I do appreciate that they let you know it is evenly intermixed of one of these cards. Obviously, all of the art is amazing. If I had to only get one, though, I'd probably get Ranger Slayer, because I love Ranger Slayer. But I love Ranger Slayer, and I really would love to have a cover of her, just another cover of her. I tried to have that hair; it didn't work. But I gotta say, yeah, Draken is really awesome. Also, let me know in the comments. Can't be there right now, but I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic weekend. A real quick thing, though, be on the lookout for something called Shin Ultraman. It is coming out in America. I don't know when, but stay tuned for more information on it. And, yeah, if you're interested, Futo PI and Kamen Rider 01 comic issue number 1. There's a lot going on. I hope you're interested in it, and if not, that's fine. But my name is Ranger Liz, and I'm going to toss it over to the rest of everyone watching. Joe, Jezer, probably. I don't know. It was a week, right? It was a week. It was a short week. We're going to talk about PMC later. And by we, I mean we. Bye, guys.
Yo. Go ahead.
Welcome to the Ranger Wrap-Up Live here this beautiful Saturday, this beautiful day in Los Angeles, California. I am Joe, along with the Toku Kid, the TKD. No, the TK. What? How was it?
TKM. The Toku Man.
Toku Man. And I'm with Jezer. How you guys doing this week?
Awesome. Doing amazing.
All right. Well, look, who do we got in the chat? We got D, Mikey, Nerd Gaming, Abram the Realtor, Morph and Henshin Heroes, Deoxy, our good buddy Ash is in the chat. Pikachu Masker 542, Edward Sanchez. Who else is in here? Sam. I saw Sam. Was there Sam Snoswell, Robert Amaya, The Blur. Thank you guys for joining us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon as we talk everything and anything Power Rangers. This specific episode is going to be about Power Morphicon, but of course, like always, we're going to be talking about the latest Power Ranger news. Thank you so much, Ranger Liz. Go subscribe to her channel. to get the latest Power Ranger news, and you can find that right there in the descriptions. But guys, how's your week been?
It's going. It's going. I may or may not have caught the Rona. I don't know yet. I don't feel like it is, but it might be. Man, I feel fine.
I'm going to follow up on that for a second. Jezzer, you may have caught the Rona. We all hope you're feeling better. We want to send our well wishes to Jezzer. But last Friday night was an epic night because we shut it down at Karaoke Blue, singing the hits.
It was.
You can check out that live stream, some parts of that live stream on our Instagram currently right now.
Who recorded that? I didn't even notice anyone recorded that.
Daniel recorded it. It was a lot of fun, actually. And a matter of fact, if you guys are coming out to Power Morphicon, I feel like we got to carve out one of the nights for a Karaoke Blue night.
We got to drive over there.
Well, is it that far? PMC karaoke? Or maybe we do a night zero. Are you going to all the nights for PMC?
I don't know yet. My new job, something is in flux. I was about to announce something, and I know some of my coworkers watch this. But yeah, I mean, I'm down. Hell, I'll bring a freaking karaoke machine. Maybe we take one of the panel rooms and turn it into a karaoke night or something. That'd be
not
really
terrible.
Cool. That would be
not a terrible idea. You know what? It would be a lot of fun thinking about turning one of these after parties into like a Power Ranger karaoke.
Hey man, we don't need a DJ. We ain't got we don't need nothing. So we
entertain ourselves.
We did quickly announce that the Saturday party was had a theme. You have any more news on that one, Joe?
Monsters Ball, welcome. Not only are we celebrating the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers next year, but this year we want to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the monsters, of the evil, mainly because it's such a staple in Power Rangers. Now, here's the thing, guys. I want to see great monster cosplays, but I want to see great monster bounding. For any of you guys that don't know what bounding is, it is essentially kind of like dressing up thematically as said character, right? So, Jezzer, if you were going to bound as Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, what would you wear?
Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles? No, if I was going to bound as one of the monsters from Power Rangers, it would be a turtle. But it'd be that turtle with that like traffic light, And I think I could probably put that together. I'll probably just like have like a turtle shirt and then have like a little pole with the light post on it or the little stoplight thing on it. I think that'd be fucking cool.
I have a feeling. I think I was gonna get Josh to wear. I'm gonna get him a full on one of those skin tight like Sentai bodysuits, and then make it like look like he has like airbrush muscles and make him Lord Zed and just put on these like pieces.
That would be cool.
For his armor.
That would be cool.
But look, we're excited for Power Morphicon. It's a great time of year. Oh, it's a great time when we are all able to get together and talk about Power Rangers live and in person. Matter of fact, that's actually one of the places where I bonded with you the most, Jezzer, on one drunken night randomly at a hotel lobby. I think that was one of the first real interactions we had.
Maybe. It was a really, really crazy night. I have been putting some like behind the scenes Power Morphicon stuff on TikTok. So Joe, if you have any fun videos from past Power Morphicons, send it my way. We'll put it up there for the fans to check out on our TikTok, exclusively on the TikTok, the Power Morphicon behind the scenes video. Toki, you got any videos from last Power Morphicon? Yeah. JDF like popping in really quickly. He like popped in, popped out. It should be fun.
That's one of those things at some of these Illuminerdi parties that we've had, or at the time hashtag show. But these Illuminerdi parties that we have, you never know who's going to show up. I know for a fact at the last party we had, it was Jason David Frank, Allison Sullivan, Hector David. Matter of fact, a lot of the Wild Force cast was there. We had different cast members filtering in and out all night long.
The two Thunder Rangers came through.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Toku Kid, I got a question for you. So when you're going to something like Power Morphicon, what's the number one thing you like checking out at a convention like that? Is it like the booths, or are you going there for the guests or the panels? Or what's your jam? What's your jive? Fantastic. That's fantastic. For all you Kamen Rider fans, we're working on something special for the panel as well. So it's not just going to be Power Ranger related, but also Legend of the White Dragon, Jason David Frank's original series. That's going to be having a presence there as well. So I'm hoping that we can transition some of our Ranger fans into other aspects of the fandom, or even extensions of the fandom, if you will. Now, for all of you guys in the chat, I gotta know, what is your favorite Power Morphicon moment, or what are you looking forward to the most? Hit us with that super chat. I want to see your answers in the chat. We got so many of you guys in there, like Larry.
Something's wrong with Jesse. Are you good? How come? And it says here, your audio is not coming through. I thought it was.
If you guys can't hear them,
let me see. Give me a second.
El Bueno, we're gonna work on getting Toku's cam back up and running. As I will continue what they call in the biz vamping. That's what I'm doing. So Thomas DeCoste, he says, is there an MMPR reunion still happening? I'm assuming that question is about the show. Look, we all know what happened with Austin St. John. I think that held up a lot of things. I think there was a lot of things happening that were in transition. I think the writing's currently on the wall, but I think that the eggs in the basket are two. They are the film of what we're going to get in 2025, it seems like now. And whatever this next season of the show is going to be, stay tuned. I'm hearing some interesting things about that, by the way, but we're not ready to release anything about that quite yet.
Crazy. But I mean,
they say, man.
Yeah, Henshin's doing really well. Don Brothers is doing well. And our buddy Heirloom is going to be joining us a little bit after the show when Scott comes in. But he has hit us with another review for Don Brothers, so let's check it out.
Hello and welcome to the Henshin Hangout. My name is Mark. It's hot in the UK right now, and this is my review of episode 23 of the Don Brothers. Now, there is so much Sentai product that has come out, I can't get it together in a short time. So next week, I'll be talking about everything, and everyone's going to be like, hey, I forgot about that. But next week, we'll be talking about everything that comes out, and there is quite a lot. So anyway, on to my review of episode 23. And I've got to admit, this one was the most weirdest one that I've seen in a long time. And with it being extra weird, I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it is about this season. This entire season is actually goddamn amazing. This episode's all about Inuzuka, and I generally dug it. I don't know how they're doing it properly with the CGI, but it looks a little bit weird and a little bit kind of cool at the same time. And again, literally not expecting to like this entire episode, mainly as most of it is CG. So one thing I was like, the main monster of this entire week is from Jungle Fury or Geki Ranger, and I have to admit, he wants a lot of quiet, and I thought it would be more about fighting. So when we've seen previously those episodes of those guys fighting, I would have more of assumed that one rather than wanting peace and quiet and just transforming into a monster and just running around going, hey, give me some silence, that's what I want. It's been a while since we've seen Momotaro actually come in as on his bike, as well as having everyone doing the festival thing. Normally they've just been showing him just turning up and going, oh hey, guess what, we're gonna fight. So when the monster's like, oh no, please stop, I want silence, I don't want this, more quiet, Don Momotaro's just like, no, I'm gonna turn this up from a 5 to a 50. And I just love the way his entrance comes in, and he just doesn't care about it. Inuzuka gets kind of knocked out really, really quickly, flung across the whole place, and at the very beginning you see Natsumi, or Miko, and obviously Pink turning around and finding this little kid who is basically praying to his dead dog. It's weird to say that, but he's basically at the kind of roadside where it happened, and he's just praying to show his respect. But because of this, Inazuna literally hits the kind of grave, the whatever it is, the memorial, and he is now cursed to be a dog or get trapped. He can't transform back, and I'm quite confused. He didn't try to put in another gear, but it just looks like the other one can't come out, which is fine. But I think it'd been kind of interesting. But I think for the premise of this episode, having him stuck as a dog was absolutely perfect to me, because it showed everybody loved it. And we went from seeing, say, the standard kind of CGI to the puppet that they've got, just literally him just standing there, and it looks so weird when they do that, because mainly he's walking around. He goes get some food, and this Japanese couple are like, "Oh, dinner's ready," and they just see him eating, and it just made me laugh all the way through. So him seeing that and going, "Oh crap," and then being shouted at because he's eating, and everyone just thinking he's a dog. So you get this kind of thing with Momitari, and he's with his friends, and he's basically having a meal with them, but obviously lives way too far away and just disappears. But they're all like, "Oh, we don't believe that he is. Like, oh, it's good to, have a childhood dream and you've got to give up on it, And as soon as he leaves the room, he's like, "Oh no!" And he's like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I'm a superhero. This is what I look like transformed. Oh my god!" And everyone's just like, "Oh, he's joking, isn't he? He's completely joking." I found this sort of part it's interesting because you shouldn't give up on the dreams that you want or the dreams that you've got, because you will get them if you work hard enough. And I think the one part of this is where he's talking to his ex, or maybe his current girlfriend. I think her name is Rumi, and he's saying like, "Oh, I really want to save the world. I want to become a superhero. I want to become the best I can be, so you can, I can come back and I can protect you. You can then just probably make me lunch, and that's all that I kind of want." And she's like, yeah, I will do it. And he transforms in front of her, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And I was just like, yes. Inuzuka meets Natsumi, and he wants to be able to speak to her. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to speak to you," but then the curse of the dog stops him, and he just keeps barking. So she kind of like goes like, "Oh, he's so cute," picks him up, and he's just like, "Oh, this is what I've missed so much." So he knows that she is out there. He doesn't know that she is the wife of Kinijo, and I kind of like that. It kind of opens it up a little bit more. Now, because she gets hurt by the monster that comes in and just hits her, she faints. And with this, Inazuna has to run off and try and find people to say, "Hey, can you come help her?" But one thing that we get is that when he passes out, because he has no energy, and this could be the curse of the dog that does this, he passes out, and Natsumi wakes up, and she sees the police officer that is basically one of the beast bad guys, and she's doing the whole thing of like, "Oh yeah," like neck cracking. He does the same thing, and they fight, and she literally whips this police officer really quickly, and he's like, "No," and then just kind of like jumps away. But it's interesting to see, because you see her going like knocking the head, like like a zombie type thing that we've seen in multiple things out there. But seeing this, I generally thought, "Oh, I want to know more." Like, this is like kind of intrigued me. But the one thing is, will literally Inuzuka like completely forget, because when he wakes up, he's like, "Who am I? Who is this?" So maybe next week we'll get something, like he'll get his memories back, or maybe he's completely forgotten who Natsumi is. So therefore, it's going to be interesting at the very end when all his memories come back. Now, the last premise of this entire episode, which was really interesting, was mainly seeing Don Momitari actually split in two. And I didn't know how they were going to do this, because obviously we've seen the Zords, and I thought that maybe it could be one of those things that he uses two gears to kind of summon them. But obviously this one, he has to split in two. One saying that the others don't respect him. One saying like, "Oh, hey, how come you'll never be as popular as Don Momotaro, so you should kind of give up trying." And this just makes them both transform into their modes. So we obviously have the dragon and we have the tiger. And I was like, okay, I can kind of see this will be interesting. Do we have two of them all along until Don Momotaro says, "Hey, guess what? I'm now over this. I know that I'm better than Don Momotaro. I don't need to know anything about him." So when I kind of saw this, I was like, that's going to be kind of a plot later on. Now we get the basic Megazord fight. We have a fight on normal terms, like normal human standard fighting, which I generally love. I love this entire concept. But we do get a fight later on at the both giant, and I will say that Don Momotari's Megazord is super agile. Like, I didn't think it was going to be super agile whatsoever. I thought it may just be the kind of same. But seeing it fight, seeing it jump, seeing it spin, made me kind of think, is this the most agile Zord that we've ever seen? Or would you say the stuff from Geki Ranger is going to be the same as, we saw kind of like fighting and stuff like that? So I was generally kind of really interested to knowing what's going on. And even Don Momotaro pipes up and goes, "This is interesting. I wasn't kind of expecting this." So I'm wondering if he's kind of thinking if something's going to happen with them at the same time. So I'm very much excited about the entire series going forward. I think one of the funniest things is Inuzuka turns around and he turns into a black dog, and he's wandering around, he's eating and stuff like that. And a little girl adopts him and basically gives him food and everything like that. But with Kinjo as well as Natsumi, they find that the shrine of the where the dog has died originally has been broken, and they kind of like refresh it, build it up, and make it a good one. So seeing this made me go, huh, that's fun. Because as soon as the shrine has been repaired, the curse is broken, and Inuzuka turns back directly into his human form. And it's just really, really weird, because the girl is patting the dog on the head, and then suddenly he's just like, and then continues to eat, and she just keeps patting his head. So I generally really enjoyed all of this. To me, this is a fantastic series. I think this is my favorite Sentai so far, because its humor in it is so different, and the whole series is redonkulously good. So I highly recommend check it out if you haven't seen it. But I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts? Do you like Don Brothers so far? Let me know in chat as well as in the comments. And yeah, where am I going with this? My name's Mark. If you want to check out any of my stuff, then head over to youtube.com/ALM. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Mainstream Live. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much to everyone who's watched this, and I'll catch you in the comments.
Interesting show. What do you have? What's so funny? Because there's a scene where like it's a Megazord, and then he covers.
You can't see me, and his face comes out.
And then his face comes out. I was like, what?
Everything that I've heard about the show is that it's phenomenal.
I heard it's good. I heard it's like innovative.
I got to check it out. You know what? Innovation is something that is much needed within the genre. I don't want to say Super Sentai because I feel like they're the innovators.
Yeah.
But definitely with Power Rangers needs a little bit of innovation.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, Dino Fury felt innovative Power Ranger comics feel very innovative. And I feel like we see that ripple effect that we love as fans, really displayed through the comics and then adapted for the live action show.
Yeah.
But that's where the innovation is coming from on the Western side of Power Rangers, because I feel like we're starting to expand on characters and parts of the universe that we hadn't before. And that's the thing, though, right? Because I feel that, like, if there's this epic change that happens with Power Rangers, what happens with all those characters? You know what I mean? Like, does that just fall by the wayside? I mean, I'm sure the comics will keep going because it's been pretty successful for Boom, but I can't, it's going to be hard to transition that for whatever else they do. What do you guys? What says you, Toku kid?
Toku.
I personally think just let all that stuff sit there where it was in their own franchise. Let the new franchise just take it in from new characters, start fresh. You want to connect that history, just do a crossover with the other universe.
Mm-hmm.
Just start completely fresh. That's how you get innovative. You don't rely on the past.
Yes, don't not rely on the past, but the past is what's making money, right? Like even freaking every other manufacturer outside of Hasbro that produces Power Ranger stuff, they always revert back to the Mighty Morphin because, like I said.
Well, here's the thing: they're not relying on the entirety of the past. They're relying on that first 3 years of the past to be the moneymaker.
And
I feel like that's with almost any franchise, because if you look at Marvel, it's still really built around that original Avengers team.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go back to something like Star Wars, it's always really revolving around Luke, Leia, and Han.
That Skywalker saga. I mean, they tried to divert away from it a little bit with the sequel trilogy, but we need some connection to the past. So I think that it, like, even though you do say that, we need to move forward from it, I don't think the audience is ready, or like the market wise, the market is ready for a different thing. It's all about brand recognition, right? Like Disneyland and Mickey.
Well, and here's another thing. Do you think that even if Boom Studios came out with like another team book, a Hyperforce book, let's just use Hyperforce very, very as the example. Do you think that would sell as well as that Mighty Morphin team? Like it's
no.
Think about the cost efficiency of printing that stuff out and then trying to make the sales on it. Look, us as fans, I'm sure we would love it. We would eat it up. But the thing is, you're trying to capture that mainstream. And I feel Power Rangers already in the comics is a niche.
Yeah.
Granted, it has more popularity than you would expect, but it's still a niche. And I don't think, look, we've already seen it happen in the comics already. when we tried expanding to a different group of teamings or a different group of team, which was Beyond the Grid team, right? Yeah. Everyone kind of shat all over that. So who knows? Like, I don't know if that would work financially. Look, I would love to see it personally, but I just, it's just so hard to get everybody else involved.
Yes.
Yeah. So
but speaking on the comics. Speaking on comics, Ash always hits us with a comic, so he's reviewing issue 22. So let's check that out.
So we're finally here. Power Rangers issue 22. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 99. As we are almost at 100 issues of Power Ranger comics. And oh boy, was this issue a crazy one, because Ryan kicked things up to 11, 100, whatever number you want to put on this. He kicked it up a lot. I was not expecting the stakes to be this high in this issue as they establish how powerful the Death Ranger is in this issue, because I thought we'd fight the Death Ranger, an evil Power Ranger, but seeing what he can do on his power level, where he can resurrect the dead, and he plans on resurrecting people across the galaxy, this guy has some godlike powers, and I do wonder how the Rangers are going to deal with him in issue 100 next month, because, oh boy, there's a lot to talk about with this issue and what happens. So, without any further ado, let's talk about Power Rangers issue 22, the penultimate issue leading up to Mmpr issue 100. So the issue picks up where we last left off, where Jason and Yale were saved by Andros and Zane. Or is it Zane? But Jason asks, how does Zane know him? Because Jason's never met Zane before, but this isn't Zane. And the Ranger replies by saying, I know you. I have seen your life and I have seen your death. I see your mother now. Follow me and I will show you so much more. So, if you're wondering how he knows Jason, well, don't forget, Jason died in Shattered Grid many, many years ago in that comic run. So Jason's died before, so this mysterious being, which is the Death Ranger, would have seen him during that moment, which I still want to know how his powers work and how he can see the dead, because I do wonder if it's like a Sixth Sense thing where he can see dead people, but we probably won't get an answer until Power Rangers Unlimited, the Death Ranger, that drops at the end of the month. But either way, this character is full of mystery. So Jason's trying to get answers out of Zane and Andros, but they don't really respond, and they basically go over to the controls of the Astro Mega ship and start pressing a bunch of buttons, and then suddenly they just blow up the space station they were just on, killing all those grunts that were on there. And Jason's shocked. He's like lost for words at seeing this, because they just killed hundreds and thousands of people in cold blood. And they don't really respond to Jason of him reacting to all of this. Zane just responds to Andros by saying, Andros, engines at full throttle, we're going home. So they're not going back to Safe Haven. They're probably going to KO35, which I say probably when I've already read this issue. So yeah, they're going to KO35. So after that, we then cut to Safe Haven, where Journey and Kivor are going for a bunch of weapons that Arkin has. And these weapons are really interesting. I really do like these ancient weapon designs. But Kivor asks Journey, hey, can you fight? And Journey's like, can I fight? Trini taught me a few moves. And practically wipes the floor with the dude. So Journey's got some moves after being trained by Trini. So after that, on the next page, we then cut to the Vox's people trying to burst open the vault with their blowtorches and stuff like that, and it's not working. And Arkin asks, hey, why the hell do you follow Vox? I mean, he's a bad dude. And Vox's followers tell him a story by saying, before Master Vox, Zircon 2 was weak. It was ruled by corrupt politicians and scheming intellectuals. Wow, that kind of sounds like real life most of the time. We abandoned our traditions and became ashamed of our very history. Okay, that's interesting. I like that line where because they were ruled by such bad people, they were ashamed of who they are. So it's sort of that ancestry background of having shitty people, so you kind of don't want to acknowledge the past. Kind of like a certain country, or countries, but they tell them that Master Vox was touched by the grid and they finally had a savior. Vox rallied all the people and redeemed their world. And then Vox was taken away by the Omega Rangers, and we kind of know the rest, and that's why they're here to take him back. So that's an interesting backstory that Vox has, and I really hope we get to explore that backstory later down the line. I mean, give me a Vox flashback in, like, the next couple of issues, like how we did, like, single issues devoted to certain characters. I would love to see one dedicated to Vox. Would a Vox Power Rangers Unlimited series work? I don't know, I don't think he's enough of a popular character, but I kind of wish we could explore his world and learn more about it and see how his world came to be. But I think the dude pretty much explains it in that dialogue, in that speech. But suddenly, out of nowhere, Journey and Kivor come out of nowhere, ready to fight Vox's troops. And that's where that page leaves off, because we'll get back to the rescue of Journey and Kivor saving Archon, because the next couple of pages, this is where shit hits the fan. So we cut back to the depths of space where Zack and Trini are chasing after the Astro Mega ship, trying to find what's going on, because the communications are jammed and they can't get in contact with Jason or Yale. So, back on the Astro Mega ship, Jason is trying to question what the hell happened, because you killed those people in cold blood. And Zane responds with, I'm just going to call him Zane for now, because we'll discover this character's name in a minute. They respond with, I've watched you let millions of people die from the depths of Eternity Point. At least that alien race that Xav deserved it. And Jason's like, who are you? And they reply with, right now I'm Zane of KO35, but before that, I was Spiark of the Avadius, the Gold Omega Ranger. And Jason just looks at them, shocked, and he's like, wait a minute, there's no Gold Ranger. And Jason's lost for words right now. And Andros tries to intervene by saying, hey, Jason, when I first became a Ranger, we heard many stories about the ancient Omega Rangers, including the Gold Ranger who conquered death. Now, for a long time, I thought it was a myth. But after the invasion and I saw your broadcast, I realized if this myth is true, it could be my deliverance. So, Jason pieces it together that Andros lied to him, manipulated, broke into the vault to free the Death Ranger from there. And Andros tries to justify it by saying, it was only the way to get Zane and my people back. And Jason goes, your people? And then the Death Ranger replies with, we're going to resurrect the people of KO35 and together wipe out the Zoltrix, or whatever you want to call them, and destroy Dark Spectre. So it shows that right now, whoever's in control, whether it be the Death Ranger or Zane, they want to destroy Dark Spectre by resurrecting the dead. But then we kind of get a glimpse of who's in control here, whether it be Zane or Spiark, and they reply with, and when that's done, we will travel the galaxy, resurrecting all those who have been wrong, and finally give them what they rightfully deserve, justice. And justice is in the speech bubble of Spiark. And Jason tries to reason with him by saying, this isn't about justice or vengeance. This isn't about justice, it's vengeance. I mean, you're killing innocent people to get what you want. And Jason even says, hey, I would do anything to see my mother again, just to speak to her for 5 seconds and tell her everything I've got to say. But I wouldn't do it through this method. And as he's pleading to Andros to sort of listen, you hear the sound of a blade being drawn, a whoomp sound, and then on the next page, in Ryan Parrott style, where you turn the page and you see the big reveal, you see Zane stabbing Jason, or the Death Ranger stabbing Jason, and Jason is confirmed dead. And the whole reason why this happened is because they require a stronger host. So now Jason is resurrected by the Death Ranger, becoming the new host, you could say. Well, is the brand new host, because they do say they require a powerful host. And then you have Yale growling at the situation. And what happens to Yale is pretty crazy. So, next up, we then cut back to Safe Haven. And we see the fight between Keva and Journey. And I gotta say, the fight between Journey and Keva and Arkin, between Vox's followers and Go
ahead, Joe.
We're back with Scott Zillner. Power Morphicon 2022 is right around the corner. We are 2 weeks away, and it crept up on us faster than this. What's the new name of the Power Ranger show that people are saying? Faster than hype. So, Power Morphicon.
Cosmic Fury.
Cosmic Fury. Yeah, we've been hearing all the rumors out there. But Scott, Power Morphicon is one of our favorite conventions. It is so much fun, and we're 2 weeks away. Chat me up. What are we looking forward to at this year's Morphicon?
Well, I think most people are just looking forward to going back to Morphicon. I mean, our last event was 2018. We should have had an event in 2020 and 2021. Those worked out how they sound. And so here we are, 2022, and no matter what, we're having the show. And it's going to be a fun time.
The one thing I love about Power Morphicon, and I've always loved this part of Morphicon, is the interaction with like-minded Power Ranger fans, because it's not every day that you run into the same folks that share some of the same passions as passionately as something like Power Rangers, Tokusatsu in general, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, whatever it may be. It's all these like-minded fans that get together, and like you know how it is. It's incredible. Like even LobbyCon is something to behold, and the cosplay, man, the cosplay is out of this world. So when you were kind of putting this show together with a lot of the guests having a lot of these guests in mind, look, especially the Super Sentai guests, we got to talk about that for a second. Those were some key guests coming out this year. What made you want to move in that direction to get some of those Super Sentai cast members out here?
It's not that I wanted to move in that direction. If you look historically, we've had Super Sentai guests for many of the shows. It's a matter of finally getting who I was trying to get for something like 6 to 8 years. I've been trying unsuccessfully to get Ozawa-san to the show, and we finally got a hold of the right people that talk to the right people, that push the right buttons, that bribe the right wheels, and here we are.
I can't wait. Jetman, I binged that during the pandemic, and it is a fantastic series. Jetman is incredible.
A little sad at the end.
Yes,
absolutely.
Very sad at the end. And I've been trying to hunt down that manga where I believe that there's a green Jetman, but I have yet to find it. So I know you have it.
No.
I have yet to find it. So I was wondering, I'm sure we can find it somewhere at Morphicon. But amongst that, we also have a ton of, and this is what Toku Kid said earlier on, one of the reasons he loves going to the show is because there's a lot of collectibles and a lot of vendors there that you'll really only be able to get that stuff at Power Morphicon.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
some of the vendors you got coming in this year.
The big thing about Morphicon is that it's the mecca for Power Ranger and Tokusatsu. It is, you make a pilgrimage, you plan your trip, you bring your blessed books and blessed toys and take them to the mecca that is Power Morphicon, where everyone there loves everything that you love, except for Danny's mom, and she's very open-minded.
There you go. Well, look, speaking of mecca in terms of collections, you're a hell of a collector yourself, Scott. I can see all that beautiful stuff behind you. What is your mecca piece for Power Rangers?
For me, what I really like about Power Ranger and Super Sentai Mecha in general is the aggregate form of them, that you can just keep putting a robot. I got 5 robots. What am I going to do? Let's put them together to make a bigger robot. Okay, great. Now we got like 7 more dudes. What do? We just snap them on that motherfucker. And they just do. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And because of that, there's certain Zords like Ninja Storm that is phenomenal how big they get that thing. And they're like, all right, we have 23 more dudes. Let's just pop them on. And you keep combining on and like, yeah, Larry's a foot, and like, that's it. It's like, what is he doing? Nothing. He's in there reading, because there's 20 more guys in this robot all doing something.
That's what I loved about the Q Ranger mecha, when it was like all these interchangeable pieces. They could just stack on top of each other.
Yeah, but you couldn't build it as big as Wildstorm or as a Ninja Storm, Right. Wildstorm's one that was like Q Ranger, where you could have parts come off and on and build several different ones with different fights. Oh, we're going to go underwater. Better put on my dolphin arm, like...
Let me ask you this. Did you like the Ryu Soldier or the Dino Fury Megazord where it's like Legos, where it's like taking it apart and stacking it on top?
I did, because that means you can just throw anything you want on there. You can keep building that guy until he's 20 feet tall if you got enough parts.
Yeah.
Because they keep just attaching on. You're like, I'm just going to build this guy up. Okay, well, I hit you with my sword. Doesn't matter. I got a blade of armor, dude. And you just take off 5 blocks and you keep fighting.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Now, were there any expectations for you as far as, like, since Hasbro took over, like, having it be seamless, like the Transformers figures were as far as, like, the transformations go?
With internal mechanisms and engineering, that's a very long, detailed, involved process. And certainly Hasbro has some experience working on Transformers, but they no longer have the inbuilt house technology team that Bandai was sharing with the States. So when you had Japan and America working together to build Megazords, you now have Hasbro US trying to build Megazords with dudes that may have been on the Transformer team, but the Transformer team was still working with Japan. And so that's why you've seen it take a little while for us to get high quality transforming Megazords like we're getting just now. Some people have got them in hand already with the new inspirational Megazord. So, yeah.
So for all of you folks in the chat, if you have a question for Mr. Scott Zillner, the leader, the head of Power Morphicon, hit us in that chat with that super chat feature. We will ask those questions. But Power Morphicon is right around the corner. And with Power Morphicon comes guests. And just to put out some luck out there, we got some green guests.
We do have some green guests. Definitely green guests for luck. And those are going to be premiered right now.
Right now. So, first of all, Jezzer, who do we got?
Matt Austin from Power Rangers SPD.
One of my favorite seasons. I love Matt Austin. I love SPD. That season is top-notch. It actually might be the season that got me back into Power Rangers because it was just so different than what I had seen before. And believe it or not, I think that storyline translates so well to this day and age. I mean, look, we're almost at 2025 now. Imagine if we get SPD season 2 in actual 2025. How cool would that be, right?
That'd be crazy.
But, and I know that Matt's a good guy, and I can't wait for fans to meet Matt in person because he's been trying to work on his own Power Ranger projects in accordance with SPD. And I think that'd be something for all of you fans to talk to him about live in person at Power Morphicon. And he's a fantastic dude. Fantastic dude.
So buttery.
So buttery.
So buttery. So buttery. We got a second green guest from a very popular season. Who you got, Jezzer?
Keith Robinson from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. One of my favorites.
I love Keith Robinson. I love that cast. Probably the tallest Power Ranger cast of all of them. But the Lightspeed Rescue cast, beautiful people, great people, fantastic season. And Keith Robinson is such a talented dude. That guy's a great singer, by the way, too.
He is.
Yeah, much more of a musician than an actor. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come out and meet these guests. Listen, man, this is us reliving our childhood. This is us reliving our present because the Power Rangers is still on the air, guys. Like, it's still going, 30 years strong. And come out and meet your favorite Rangers. If you were on the fence about coming out to Power Morphicon, I highly recommend coming out to this show. It's going to be great getting out there, seeing like-minded fans, interacting with these guests, going to those panels, hitting those after parties, and living the Power Ranger experience at PMC 2022.
I love it's back in Pasadena because Pasadena it's Power Morphicon, right? Like
Power Morphicon, exactly. And this is the thing, and I'm sure you already know this, Scott, but like the thing with Power Morphicon in Pasadena, to me, it feels like the home of Power Rangers. And as soon as you get to that city on that, for me, that Thursday night, that Friday morning, it just feels like you're in Power Morphicon, and you get that excitement already going. This is what I love about the convention. And look, just because the convention has certain hours doesn't mean the convention or the party stop, because you will meet these like-minded fans all around the city of Pasadena, which is an amazing experience in itself. Jezzer, let me ask you this about PMC. Talk to me for a second about what you're looking forward to the most this year at PMC.
Just the human interaction, like meeting everybody else, all the fandom coming together, because that's something that's been missing for a while for sure. Like there's been a bunch of digital conventions and stuff like that other people have held, but it doesn't feel the same, you know. Like just that human interaction with some of the guests and some of the other attendees. It's different. It's definitely different. That's why I was so hyped about San Diego. I know like it was people are on the fence about it, but it felt like San Diego versus like WonderCon, where it felt a little bit different. There's a little bit of hesitancy, a little bit, but San Diego, it felt like, I think we're moving back in the direction that we were going like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Another reason I like this show a lot too, and Scott knows this because I've been at a ton of these Morphicons, is that it's a fan-driven show.
Yeah,
it's one of these shows that are really put on for the fans, by the fans, which I'm a huge advocate of, because it feels like it's a more intimate interaction that you get with a lot of the guests there. Scott, can you speak about that a little bit, about the intimacy of a show like Power Morphicon?
Well, I think that really kind of goes back down to the fact that you're there with people that love the same stuff that you love.
Yeah.
So if you bump into somebody, it's not like, oh, sorry, I bumped into you. It's like, oh, hey, sorry, I bumped into you. Man, I love that shirt. Oh, yeah, hey, check out what I just got. Like you immediately hit up a conversation and you talk about stuff that you love. And I think that's a big important part of the show, is that everyone going to the show loves everything as much as you do, or even more. You never know. Like, wow, I had no idea that show was so interesting. I never gave it a shot, but that dude loves it so much, I'm going to go home and watch it. And you never know what conversation might lead you to a new area of knowledge or interest by just talking to somebody at the show.
Absolutely. I mean, Jezzer and I, that's where we had our big real first interaction, was at a PMC, believe it or not.
I think it was at the Hilton, right?
At the Hilton, yep, at the Hilton, right there in that lobby. It was a bunch of us there. A few of the Rangers were there. And that's another thing, too, that I think is such an amazing surprise as a fan, is that you'll never know who and which Ranger you'll end up like sharing a space with and having that personal interaction, which is phenomenal at a show like that. Scott, let me ask you another question about PMC. So look, we all know that there's a ton of planning that goes into this, and it's a lot of hard work. But when the show's over, I'm sure it has to be very gratifying for you to put on such an epic show like that. But for this time at PMC, what are some of the differences or challenges that you face putting on this show opposed to some of the other ones?
Well, I mean, obviously just coming back from a COVID world is, difficult. Currently, everything that cost anything is gone up incredibly.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to deal with costs. And I know some people were like, yeah, hey, your breakfast was like $60 and now it's 75. What's up with that? And I'm like, because it costs more, and everyone that paid the smaller rate, I'm covering $5 more. Like, it stuff just changed, and trying to keep up with that. I know supply wise, we won't have as much stuff to give out or give away, just because we couldn't get some of it. Even our pins, we normally have a lot more pins, and they're like, we can't get you X amount by this date. We can do this by this date. And so we're going to cut it really slim on pins.
Believe it or not, Scott, we've been running into some of the same issues. I mean, look, inflation is a real thing.
Yep.
I mean, it's
inflation and supply side, and we just can't do some of the stuff that we could have done before.
Sure.
And so we're trying our best, and we're going to do our best. There were pins that we bought specifically for the PMC store, and we're like, well, we don't have enough pins, so we're gonna have to give some of those away.
Right.
And I'll show you one of the giveaway pins. We can do a reveal here. I got they just showed up. Let's see if I can get it out of the package.
An unboxing right here live on the Ranger app.
Yeah. All right, so here we go.
Oh,
oh, nice.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
now
good.
I have bad news for you. If you're going to try to collect a set of these, you're going to be out of luck because they're not part of the gold set. They're part of, like I said, they were supposed to be store pins, but instead we're going to just kind of give them out. But if you were wondering, Scott, did you do the whole team? We did.
Right.
But I don't know how you're going to get them. We ordered more for later, so we'll have some for sale after the convention. But for giveaways, these will be in like part of the mystery giveaway.
This is going to be a fun Easter egg hunt for a lot of you fans that are pin collectors out there. I mean, honestly, this is
they're pissed off because right now there's only 500 sets of those. Period.
Oh.
I like the.
And if you go on the gold breakfast or the field trip, you get one of those pins. So that means there's even less of those out in the mystery bags. There will only be like 200 or so in the mystery bags, if that.
I think it makes it fun.
I think that makes it fun too.
Because like for the breakfast, like you'll get this one for the breakfast, the blue. That's basically only people that go to the breakfast are going to get this pin.
Nice.
I love it because you essentially just created kind of like a, almost kind of like the Chase gift bags, where you have like the pin certain ones.
I'm well aware of it. I apologize now. I begged. I'm like, can you just give me X amount? And they're like, not by the date that you need them by. And that was another issue where, getting clearances took so long. By the time we got clearance, we just didn't have time to get stuff done. So here's another
by Simi Valley. Right? You might have them all by Simi Valley.
No, it did because by the point to do a second run, we're now back on the bottom of the list for production.
Oh,
I see.
Yeah, the production lines are so jammed for getting stuff made. So we went and had some stuff made in the United States to kind of help calm everyone down. And we know one of the main guests, of course, is Ozawa-san here. And we made him old-fashioned glitter stickers.
I love those.
So like how you would put in 4 quarters at the store and you get one of these stickers. And you wouldn't just get one. You would also maybe get his sword.
That's great.
Or his gun. But the Morpher. They're all glitter stickers. We're going to throw these in the gold packages singly, but then we'll also have some for sale in the merch store.
Nice.
So
When I was a kid, those would find their way on keepers all day long. I love those.
Toku, you don't know what a trapper keeper is. A trapper keeper.
you just said a weird term. I don't know.
Coming out of nowhere. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. I love it. Those stickers look phenomenal.
We have a neon Power Ranger patch because we wanted to really celebrate the 90s for the show. We wanted the theme to be 90s. And on top of this, we're going to have hats, backpacks, fanny packs, and they're all going to be neon 90s goodness. They'll all be at the merch store.
I love that. I love me some neon 90 goodness. Power Morphicon is coming at us. So Scott, you have a lot of first-time guests at this show.
Definitely we do. And we always try really hard and we're always searching to find those guests that haven't made an appearance and try to convince them one way or another to make an appearance. And we still have guest releases. Like this next week and a half, I'm going to be doing like 3 or 4 announcements a day to try to get everybody out in time. And last minute guests. I had somebody contact me last night. Hey, dude, man, I'm going to fly in from the Philippines just for the show. I should be there on Friday night. I was like, okay, I'll see what I can do. So that stuff is still going on. If you think the guest list is set in stone, it never, ever is. And we're going to have mystery guests just going to be out there on the show floor. They don't want to be announced as guests. They're just going to come out, hang out. You almost have to find them. Like, where's Waldo?
More Easter egg hunting. I love it. I love it. Not only are you Easter egg hunting for these pins, you're going to be Easter egg hunting for these guests. This is gonna be a lot.
There's always amazing people at the show that nobody realizes is there.
Yeah, you know what? And it's crazy because I remember. I don't know if this was. I want to say it was 2016. I say it's 2016. But there was a panel that there was big rumors that were flying around that like, oh, this person was gonna be there and that person was gonna be there. It's another thing I love about Power Morphicon because you literally never know who's gonna show up and what's gonna happen. It is
often for the cast reveals. they're there at the show walking around until the cast reveal, and then you're like, oh, I saw that person at the booth. Yeah, they were walking around before they were noticed. Then they like hustle them off the stage and you can't see them again.
Yeah. So a few first-time guests. We got, let's talk about this for a second. We got some of the Dino Fury cast. Phenomenal season so far.
Yeah.
They'll be there. I know that
there's a mystery cast person walking around that didn't want to be announced.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah. That's a Weird Waldo hunt. That's just a hint.
Nice.
See, that's what I love going
I'm
to
hoping
Morphicon.
it's Pop. Hoping it's Pop.
Yeah, you imagine you got Pop coming. That'd be great. Fantastic. So let me ask you this, Mark. You just joined us. Are you? What are you looking forward to the most at Power Morphicon?
He's not going.
I'm not going. I'm looking forward to the announcement of me just not coming. I think it's.
Consider yourself not announced for not showing up.
Thank you. Now I just need a graphic. What am I looking forward to?
Marvelous.
To be fair, yeah, he is the biggest one. That literally turned me from going, I don't think I'm going to make it, to where's my checkbook, and then I couldn't come. But he's.
We are going to announce autographs for him on Monday, I believe. Monday we'll release that out. So if you're not going, you can still get a Marvelous autograph, and we will send it to you after the show.
Yes.
Marvelous.
So yeah, that's. He's the only one that like made me go, I need to go. Yeah. So he was the biggest announcement that I think is best. So yeah, like kudos on getting him. Kudos on getting him at all, getting him completely.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. That's such a beloved Super Sentai series. So, having him there is going to be huge. What are you, Jezzer, for you? I know that we're right around the corner there for Power Morphicon. What are some of the things this year that, besides the interaction with your fellow Ranger fans, what are some of the things you're looking forward to the most?
Some of the booths have some really, really cool like art. I can't remember who it was, but last Power Morphicon when it was in person, someone had like those aluminum, the aluminum like pop arts. There's the Draken one.
Oh, I know the guy.
Yeah, a Draken one and stuff. Some of the arts like, because this room it's got so much different decorations, but like Power Ranger ones, are probably my favorites because how intricate and how like detailed some of them can get. So that and some of the guests like Scott was saying, there's some mystery guests. I kind of hope like maybe we can get some 2017 movie guests because that cast was amazing. I know a lot of them are super busy.
I tried really, really hard. We outreached to Darcy. We tried to get him to come out. These things sometimes take a while, and Stranger Things is a lot more popular than Power Rangers for him, and those appearances take precedence.
How about Zordon from Breaking Bad? That would have been
Bryan Cranston.
Really crazy.
Yeah, well, all of you know the Bryan Cranston history to Power Rangers, and those of you watching may not know, but Bryan Cranston is a good friend of Saban. And that's why Billy Cranston is named Billy Cranston, because it's named after Bryan, just like Tommy Oliver is Tony Oliver, who worked on the show. Just change the front names and then get around copyright issues or anything like that. Named his friend Billy Cranston. And Bryan did make several voice appearances on Power Rangers as monsters. And then when the movie came out, another favor was asked, and we got Bryan Cranston to be Zordon.
Yeah,
that's amazing. We did get a super chat though from Deoxy, one of our cast members here. It says, "I'm always going to remember the Shattered Grid table read from 2018. Such a hype moment when David spoke as Zordon." These are those moments that we talk about when you're in some of those panels. Goosebumps. Another one for me, I think it was 2016, the Sodaroso brothers when they were together. What an amazing moment!
That's where we saw Joe cry. He cried when that happened.
I almost did legitimately cry at that Power Morphicon. That was such a beautiful moment.
It's that happens because the show is every couple years.
Yeah.
And so any event that you have every couple years, it has more power, it has more punch than if you go every week to Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
For those of you in LA, that's a swap meet. All of us go. So it because and with the COVID, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So even what might have been considered a smaller panel might be a life-changing panel because, dude, it's been 4 years since you've seen some of those people on stage.
Yeah.
And so that's going to make it, I think, a bit more punchy for a lot of people. Those of you that go are going to have a great time.
And I also think for those of you that go, this is going to be one of those fan experiences that you are not going to forget. I promise you that. From the panels to the people you meet to the interactions with the actors, you're going to be creating these memories forever. And like I said, man, me and Jez are really good friends. And we really met at Power. We really met at Power Morphicon. Yeah. That's where it all really started.
We knew of each other, but then we really started talking and hanging out at a Power Morphicon, which is amazing.
Again, I mean, it's just also so much fun just to see other people that share the same passion as you. And look, this is where you get creators really creating content, and this is where you do it here at Power Morphicon, especially for us in the Power Ranger community. Scott, I got to ask you this. Obviously, I know that the Super Sentai actors, they're huge, and they're huge gets for Power Morphicon this year. Which one of the Power Ranger actors are you most excited to see at the show for the first time?
I mean, hands down, we have Gokai Red and Black Condor. Mm-hmm. I can't say how impressive it is to have those two Japanese actors coming out to the show. In fact, I gotta make sure I have to literally write a note here about the dinner. I need to call our reservations and make dinner. So.
Scott's like, the reservations are full. I'm gonna make the dinner.
Okay, there we go. I cannot forget that dinner. So that kind of experience is something that again, we've worked on for years to try to get that actor here. We finally were able to work out a deal, and I wanted to make it accessible to people. A lot of people complain he's expensive, and he's never made an appearance, even in Japan, to sign for Gokai. Mm-hmm. This is probably his only time he's ever going to make an appearance. So
just see the deflated mark right there. That was everybody.
I would hate to be that person that misses that in person, because that's a strike that you will just never recover from. Like, you will live your entire life going, oh man, I missed out on meeting Ozawa. I could have had a signature and told him how much he meant to me. That will be stricken from your life forever. Whoever that might be.
I made a joke to our friend Dave, and I was like, right, what's going to happen is I'll go to Morphicon and I'll meet him, and then when I go to Japan, I'll meet him at the airport as well, and I'll be like, this is destined. And now, since I'm not coming to Power Morphicon and I can't go to Japan right now, I'm never going to meet him. If only you mentioned it like literally 2 months earlier than you did, I'd have gone, I have the money.
Oh. And look. All of us are wearing masks these days still. Mm-hmm. Just go into a bank. I'm not saying, I'm just saying there's ways to show up if you want to try hard enough to meet your idol for this one-time appearance at the show. Not going to say names, a point.
Well, thanks.
So I do want to talk about something just to put people's minds at ease that are going to Power Morphicon. Look, COVID's a real thing. What are some of the protocols that we have going on? I know we're like, everybody, please wash your hands, use hand sanitizer.
At this point in COVID, you should know how to act. Yes. I am not your mother. I am not going to tell you how to behave. If the crowd gets heavy, put your mask on. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. Exactly.
You're speaking to a Japanese guest, it's very proper to have your mask on.
Mm-hmm. Because they wear it every day. They've been wearing masks since years before COVID.
And so even with that, you're not going to be able to come up and touch them or hug them or anything like that. They need to make sure they keep some distance from you. They need to make sure they don't get sick to go back.
Yeah.
And they have very important things they want to do while they're here on top of Morphicon. Not going to name names at Disneyland but those kind of things happen, and we have to be aware of it, and we need to take that kind of common courtesy to guests and to everyone else there. I'm not enforcing you to wear something. I'm telling you should do what you need to do.
And you know what? This is also to keep all of you guys that are going safe as well, because a lot of you guys are coming in from other parts of the world to come to Power Morphicon. This is also for your safety as well. I mean, it's not, you know what I mean? Look, we all have to deal with this.
COVID's not gone. It will never be gone. It's now living with a thing. You need to be vaccinated. Mm-hmm. You need to be boosted. And then when in a heavy environment of people that have been traveling, you need to take those extra precautions. That's what I will say about it. You should do what you feel is right. Yep.
And you got to keep checking back on Power Morphicon social media, because that way you'll get the latest information and the latest updated guests. More things to be announced. Look, we still got 2 more weeks, guys.
2 weeks.
I'm planning. People are like, "Oh, we've noticed you're posting more than once a day," and it's like, I have to. There's so much stuff, and I got to get it all out. And so we're really trying to push that. We're going to have posts tomorrow. We're going to have posts all next week. And I just want all the information to be on the front page of officialpowermorphicon.com. If you go to that front page and you just scroll down, that's why there's separate articles, where we used to just do this week's guest, and we'd release 9 of them at a time. Mm-hmm. Each person is a separate posting now, so that if you look at that page, it's tiled. You can grab whoever you want, find out who's there, and a little bit more information about them. So I felt that's information than having to try to hunt something down through the menu wise.
Yeah, that's a great. And then look, over on the Illuminerdi.com, we'll be updating the guests for Power Morphicon as well, with articles that you guys can read. Again, 2 more weeks. If you're on the fence, I highly recommend going. Look, we haven't had a Power Morphicon in 4 years. 4 years. 4 years, guys. Yeah. It's been a long 4 years. So it's going to be great to be back, to see everybody, to be in that atmosphere. I can't wait to see a Red Ranger walk by, and then you got a putty walking by. This is what I love, is Power Morphicon, being there, experiencing it with everybody else. So we got more announcements coming, Scott, in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be talking panels. We're going to be talking after parties. Everything that you guys want from Power Morphicon, we will deliver it to you guys. Next 2 weeks is going to be a grind for us, but you guys are going to love it. I promise you. If you're on the fence, come on out. Come on out to Power Morphicon.
Oh, I do want to speak on one thing that's on a lot of people's minds. There was certainly social media posting going on about security and that someone had made threats. Mm-hmm. I cannot give you guys details on that. I can say it's being taken care of. Everyone involved has been notified and spoken to. There will not be that problem at the show.
That's good.
On top of that, because of that, there will be additional security at the show. Meaning, to get in and out of the building is going to be a bit more difficult. And that's because of, you want security, you get security. You can't have both.
Exactly. You can't have it both ways. And listen, again, this is for the precaution of keeping everybody safe.
Absolutely.
Because look, threats are a real thing. You just never know what's going to happen. So for me personally, like something that we talked about in San Diego, Jezzer, like it's one of those things that, you can't take it lightly, no matter what the situation.
In San Diego, they had no bag checks. That was
there was no bag.
San Diego does their security in a more covert way that you don't see.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so in that security is at Morphicon as well. There's covert security and there's obvious security.
Yeah.
So you will be going through an obvious security to get in. There will be obvious police officers in the building. There will be obvious police officers outside the building.
Yeah.
But then there's unobvious security inside the building. And at Comic-Con, there's snipers on the roofs.
Oh, I did see that. There's a sniper on top of the Bayfront Hilton, just like he had a little tent up there.
That is security for Comic-Con. If there's an active shooter, that security is there. So Comic-Con does an even greater expanse of security. Just because they're not doing bag checks doesn't mean security is not being present.
That puts us at ease.
I'm glad you actually told me that, because I had no idea about that.
There's always a lot of unobvious security, and unobvious security is what I've been doing for years. People say, well, I only saw one cop and no security. It's like, because I hired the other ones undercover. So they were just shopping around. If you saw some guy walking around and was not carrying a bag full of Megazords, that was probably security.
There you go. There you go. So
And
everybody can be put at ease as far as security wise for conventions.
And listen, use common sense, guys. If you guys going out, you see something that doesn't seem right, let somebody know. And it will be taken care of. That I will promise you.
It unfortunately does mean an extra bit of a line to get in. It means going through security to get in. It means going through a bag check. It means piece bonding all of your
props,
cosplay props and whatnot. I'm not saying you can't bring them, but don't bring realistic guns. You're gonna bring your Nerf blaster 4000. You know what? We know it's a Nerf blaster. We're gonna have to knock on it, make sure it's plastic. We don't want anything that can actually fire a projectile. So no pellet guns or BB guns or anything like that. Those will be, you'll have to go take them back to your car.
Yes.
But your giant foam hammer, just piece bond it. We know it's not full of candy apples, and you can go on in. So you're good.
Nice.
Well, Power Morphicon's returning to the city of Pasadena in 2 weeks, guys. Get your tickets now. Get your passes now. Meet all your favorite Ranger actors. Come check out some of the panels. Come check out some of the cosplay.
Day 0 is a badge day to come in, pick up your badge, pick up your merch. And we're going to have Austin St. John there all day Thursday. And then we'll also have him Friday. So when you pick up your badge early on Thursday, we're going to have a viewing room showing some Super Sentai, some Power Ranger episodes. You can chill. And Austin St. John will be there all day. You want that day to easily get in, get your badge, meet Austin so you can walk in on another day without issues. Thursday is your day.
Thursday.
And also, for coming from out of town, the hotels in Pasadena are great. Pasadena as a city is beautiful. It's great to explore. Everything's accessible, by the way, too. Everything's within walking distance. Food, everything's within walking distance of the convention center. So it's laid out perfectly for you guys. It's not really like you're going to have to jump back in your car and drive to it. I mean, you can do that. You can totally do that. But you don't need to.
Yeah.
Because gas prices in
oh my God,
are
Anaheim was crazy. Anaheim was, it was so hard. We went to Taco Bell late at night, and they weren't even serving. It's it's freaking 11 o'clock. What's going on? It was crazy.
You won't have to deal with that in Pasadena. I love it. I love it.
I've got a question. I've got a question. Are you going to do a limited Marvelous and Super Mega Force Red? Because I've been making this joke, and everyone's just gone, it's funny. Is there going to be opportunity? Because I would just like to throw a bit of chaos into the Tokyo community.
What do you mean by?
How
if you had Ranger teams all together, you could have Marvelous on one side, and then you could have Andrew on the other, and then you could just have two Gokai Reds effectively.
Oh, I mean, we're doing co-op photo ops. Andrew's going to be next to their booths at the show, and he'll be on the panel with them. So
good.
Those opportunities will be well present at the show.
It's gonna be seeing them shake hands or something,
That's what I'd like. And then obviously wearing each other's jackets, because I think that would be really funny.
all of this epicness that you're gonna miss, Mark.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks,
man.
Yeah, actually, I believe we spoke to the Japanese handler the other day that there will be a regular photo op and then a photo op with Jetman with the bench. So we're going to pull a bench in, and you can have a photo next to Jetman on the bench or next to Jetman and Ozawa on the bench. And then we're going to do a photo op with Andrew Gray and Ozawa, where you could also be in that photo op as well. And where he'll be wearing the jacket. I'm trying to know every combination you would want, and you're not there to enjoy this.
If you'd announced this 2 months prior to when you first did,
I announce it when I can announce it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you all the stuff I can't announce yet. There's a lot. I have folders. All right, folders. Look at that. There's information right there. Bam.
How many hours of sleep do you get, Scott?
I'm one of those low sleepers normally, so I normally sleep 5 to 6 hours. Right now, I'm doing 4 to 5 hours a day. Okay. So I'm doing 20-hour days most of the days. There was a couple deadlines a week ago where I was doing 23 and 22-hour days. But I'm past that now. I'm back to like 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, I can imagine it's gonna get, it's gonna get busy.
Yeah, no, it gets worse. It's not a sprint. This is a marathon, and you just have to keep going and going. And I can relax sometime towards the end of September.
It just happens to be a marathon with the pacing of a sprinter. Is what?
Yeah, really fast, but you got to keep doing this, or the wolves eat you. And I can't let the wolves eat me because I need to make the best possible convention for everyone that's showing up.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're going to do everything we can to make that the best convention for every Power Ranger fan that's going to walk through those doors. But look, we're so excited for PMC in 2 weeks. Tickets are still available. Officialpowermorphicon.com. You can get everything there. Look, Scott, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have more announcements with panels, more guests, more surprises still to come. We got 2 weeks left, guys. 2 weeks left.
You make it sound like it's a long time. It's not.
It's not. Look, I felt like honestly between San Diego and now, it still feels like I just left San Diego.
I did 2 other shows.
I don't know how you did it. How you did 2 other shows in between that times. It feels like my bags still aren't
unpacked. England. I went to England and did a show, and then came back and did this.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I had a hard time in England. I had to work with the guy from Stranger Things, Eddie Munson.
Oh, yeah. You were at that convention?
I ran that line for Eddie. I made sure that line was working. I was the only one with enough convention experience to handle that crowd.
That's
so
incredible.
The convention people never made him cry. He was crying because he was overwhelmed by all of the fans telling them how much they loved him. Man. That is what made him overwhelmed. That's what made him cry. The convention never made him cry. The convention did not make him stay late to sign autographs. He said, I will stay late. I want to make sure every person out there gets that's got a card gets an autograph, and he stayed to do that for the fans, not for the show. He did that himself. All of those TikTok, the convention did this and the convention yelled at him, are all out of context, did not happen, because I was there. I was right there. I handled him the entire time. So he was a great guy. He was never done a convention before, and he was utterly overwhelmed at the fan response to him. Because he filmed Stranger Things like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like a ton of other things. He doesn't even know people were watching that or loved him that much. Now he knows. Now he's well aware of this. But
I love you setting the record straight. I love that.
At the time, he was just like, I'm just gonna sign, okay, and then nothing but people throwing gifts, throwing stuff at him, and crying and breaking down. One lady fainted. That in front of him overwhelmed him. He did everything he could and then some for the convention, for the fans. The convention did not mistreat him one bit. He had a visa issue, which is why he couldn't go to the UK. He couldn't go to Germany. He couldn't go to Germany. The visa didn't work out. That's why we lost James McLaren. The same thing is that he needed a special visa. They had to approve it. And they simply were like, no, we're now 8 weeks behind. We're not going to give you that stamp to come into the country. So that's what happened with Germany. I was at the dinner table when that call came in. I got told exactly what the problem was. And then the people on TikTok and fans were saying, oh no, he was treated so poorly by that convention. He refused to go to the other one. You're making stuff up. That's what we call in the world fan fiction. It's fan fiction because you're a fan and you made it up. I was actually there. Those are the records. I'm setting that straight on your show, Joe. I hope you appreciate that because that's a whole nother segment you can cut from this.
Yep.
Exclusive.
And then put it out.
Not abused by convention. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So London Film and Comic-Con, he was nothing but a perfect, extraordinary guest. He did everything for the fans. The convention did not mistreat him whatsoever, as I was 10 feet away from him the entire weekend.
Nice.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I mean, I'm sure that the reputation of that convention maybe took a hit from some of those fans on TikTok, but it's good that you're setting that record straight.
You can't argue with thousands and thousands of online people. You can say what you say, and then they say, oh, well, of course you would say that. And it's like, well, there you go.
There's proof in the pudding. There you go. They're setting the record straight. I love it. Well, look, we got 2 weeks left. I keep saying that we had 2 weeks left because I have to reassure myself that there's still 14 days left until we get to the show. But listen, Night Zero, which I will be there for. Night Zero is where it all really starts. That's the real kickoff. That's the Night Zero, where I walk in that Thursday, where you start seeing those fans, kind of the smattering of fans here and there. That's what I like, because then every day progressively, it just gets more and more filled with like-minded Power Ranger fans. But getting the lay of the land on that Thursday, getting the early badge pickup, which I highly suggest, specifically since the heightened security that you guys are going to be going through for your protection is going to be in place. I definitely suggest going on that Thursday. Go out there, meet Austin St. John, original Red Ranger. Talk to him a little bit. He'll be there that Thursday all day. And then on Friday, hit the ground running. Panels, parties, Rangers, fans, collectibles. It's all there. PMC 2022.
Awesome.
4 years later. I love it. I almost feel like we're at the end of that Marvel snap after Thanos came back, and this is
we COVID snap, and now we're brought back, and we got to get ready to party, right, Joe?
Absolutely. But guys, we hope to see you at Power Morphicon in 2022 in 2 weeks. Hit us up on that super chat if you have any more questions for Scott. But I think Jezra actually is a good time to wrap out the show. Yeah,
it's good.
Scott, you got anything else? Well, let's talk about some of the other cons real quick.
Obviously, I do a lot of shows. We got 2 more shows for the year for my personal hosting. September 11th, Simi Valley is going to be Megabit Game Expo. That's a nice, small, retro game expo in Simi Valley. We've got great guests. We've got the mocap actor for Halo, James Robinson. We've got the voice of Rosalina from Mario. And we just got the main guy from Red Dead Redemption.
Nice.
We've got some really nice people coming out to the event. There's even more guests. I just simply couldn't say them offhand. That's September 11th, Grand Vista Hotel, Simi Valley, Megabit Game Expo. And then after that, ToonCon, October 9th. We're going to have an animation festival with an incredibly big guest I'm going to announce next week. Holy shit. Hold on to your horses, because the guest we announce next week for ToonCon, you're going to be like, okay, I want my VIP. You're going to pay your VIP right then. You're just going to put it down. Mark, you're aware of this now. I'm going to announce it next week for ToonCon. I don't want to hear any excuses. Oh, you announced it right before Morphicon, and I just didn't have enough time to prepare myself for October. I don't want to hear it. I'm announcing it now.
Money, Scott. Money. That's what it is.
Money is not a barrier to hold you back from travel. You can call it that real well. You can nail yourself over here. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can get on a cargo container and boat on a boat.
I could.
Yeah,
but
that's a cheap way to travel. There's lots of those ways to get out here. ToonCon, October 9th. It's an animation festival. My partners with that show is CelebWorks. They handle a lot of the big-time guests at all these conventions. I've known them for a long time. So they're going in with me for this next ToonCon. We're building in a bigger area. We're going to have a lot more guests, and it's going to be a much bigger, nice show. You won't want to miss that.
Nice.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, stay tuned for the announcements for that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Toku, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Toku Kid and TikTok and TKD3D.
Nice.
Mark, where can everybody find you, buddy?
Not going to Power Morphicon because down it. But you can find me
there. That's a fact.
Yeah, you can find me anywhere else as Airlim, but on Twitter as Mainstream Live.
Scott, where can everybody? Well, we're going to be able to find you at 2 weeks in Power Morphicon running around, but until then, where can we find you?
Go to officialpowermorphicon.com for all the latest news from the show. Me personally, I'm Scott Zillner on Facebook and Instagram and all those other kind of good things. Toon-con.com for ToonCon and megabitgameexpo.com for Megabit.
Nice.
Sweet. And you can find Jezzer on our TikTok, but if you want to follow him on social media,
where
would they go?
Everywhere.
That's right. And now check out the TikTok because we got some She-Hulk interviews coming up soon, right, Jezzer?
Yes, we do.
Right. So you can find me at Joe Illuminerdi and right here at the Illuminerdi mostly every Saturday. I don't say every Saturday. Mostly every Saturday I'm here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in pop culture. All right.
Later, guys.